this is my answer to Miss Hines. What the Middle Ages do, and particularly in countries like England, they create new ideas of broader allegiance. The basis of most human society is the very small group of the family or the tribe, all interrelated. The world, of course, that still survives over much of the world now. It's very much in Afghanistan. It's the world, of course, dare one say it, in much of southern Italy. It's the reason that the mafia is so important. It's the world in most of Africa. Something happened to Western Europe, and particularly to, I think, areas like England in the Middle Ages. And it is the so often it's a positive and a negative. It's the diminishing importance of family connection, the replacement with the great extended family with the much smaller nuclear family on the one hand, and the development of broader non-family relationships on the other. And the summation, the coming together of those two things, I think are the broader patterns of loyalty which are entailed in the idea of the nation state. Again, one of the great problems of modern historiography, of modern history, is the assumption that the nation state, is just a creation of the late 18th, early 19th century, the French Revolution and the post-French Revolutionary period. This seems to me to be absolutely nonsense. The clear lineaments of it, the outlines of it, are established over much, but not all, of Western Europe. It's very Western European, in other words, in the Middle Ages, and as I said, especially in Britain. Now, England, I must get that right. England, Scotland is a very different matter, as the I'm not just being funny, as the clans and all the rest of it demonstrate, and indeed I would argue still, as the extraordinarily clannish nature of Scottish politics suggests. What is it then that is the thing that dissolves the importance of the broader family tie? Well, it connects back to one of the great moments in Dan's book, to the great Pope, one of the thrones and powers. It's both a power and a throne that he looks at, is the papal throne, particularly the great lawgiver Pope Innocent III, and the Lateran Council of 1215, which is one of the most important moments in Western European history. So many things are determined in that council. One of them has an effect, which we can see in every law court in the land. This is the moment at which Innocent III effectively says that a priest must not participate in trial by ordeal. This effectively outlaws trial by ordeal, and instead you have to develop the idea of trial by jury, which of course in England leads to the development of the testing of evidence, the arguments in favour and arguments against, the presumption of innocence and all the rest of it. All of that finally goes back to the Lateran Council of 1215. The other, one of the other decrees of the council, which is even more important, is the one that forbids marriage within the so-called prohibited degrees. In other words, you outlaw marriage to cousins and to second cousins and third cousins and even to fourth cousins. In other words, whereas up to that point, marriage had, if there had been marriage at all, copulation had been endogamous within the group, you make it exogamous. It's got to be outside the group. And this, I think, is the fundamental moment of shift as you develop a loyalty that rises beyond family, beyond village. Whatever was left of tribes vanish, and instead you have built on top of it that bigger, better thing, a loyalty to a bigger, better group, the idea of nationhood, which seems to me should go down, though it very rarely does, as one of the great achievements of the Middle Ages, you know, like the wheeled plough, the mechanical clock, the Gothic arch, the great cathedrals, except that the transformations of marriage rules colour everything. They don't just shape architecture, they don't just shape timekeeping, or the great organ, the great instrument of the Middle Ages. They shape us. So, Miss Hines, if somebody would like to start writing, and in fact, I've met 2 or 3 people recently who are looking in this area, the whole study of how the family group is shifted, and particularly in the light of those decrees of the Lateran Council. They will be writing a history of absolutely fundamental importance, which tells us not only about the development of our own society, but our failure to impose, I'm going to use that word, those values on other societies. Why have we failed in Afghanistan so resoundingly? Why did colonialism, the attempt, which in its better aspects was the attempted imposition of Western patterns of law, freedom, economic growth, and so on, the answer is the prevalence of the different subgroup, the enduring loyalties of family. In other words, the areas that hadn't benefited from the reforming zeal of that extraordinary occupant of the throne of St. Peter in the Middle Ages, Innocent III. How history comes full circle. Hello, and thank you for watching David Starkey Talks. If, as I very much hope, you're enjoying them, why not become more actively involved and join my members club? As a member, you'll be able to take part in the members-only weekly question and answer session, suggest topics for forthcoming videos, and have priority booking for my forthcoming live events. And while you're at it, why not have a look at the store page on my website, davidstarkey.com. There you can purchase t-shirts and other merchandise, buy signed copies of my books, and, if you're feeling brave and a bit flush, even arrange to take me out to lunch. Thank you once again for watching. I look forward to hearing from you and to welcoming you to my members club.